All right, well let's get into gaming news then. We got a lot of gaming news. We're recording this on Sunday morning. I'm gonna try to release it same day. Wish me luck. I got a lot of editing to do, but we did get the Geeked Week from Netflix. We got the Summer Games event. We got Ubisoft Forward. There's a presentation from Devolver Digital, Gearbox, and then we got a little bit of gaming newsy bits I want to get out of the way at first. So there's a substantial sale on Xbox games and accessories for those who are interested. 55% on a ton of digital games, 75% for games directly from Xbox Game Studios, 60% on select PC games. They're giving out Game Pass Ultimate for $1 for 3 months instead of like the 1 month they usually do. 25% on accessories, PC starting at $700. Might be a good thing to check out if you're an Xbox player or you do some PC gaming. Just saying. Speaking of Xbox, they are actually getting a PS5 exclusive pretty soon. They're going to be getting Oddworld Soulstorm, interestingly enough.
They can't wait.
Yeah. Well, we're getting something too. So PS5 players are going to be getting the Medium, which I think we worked out a little bit better on that deal.
Hell yeah.
Super excited to check out the Medium. Yeah. So good news for fans all around of getting more of those exclusives they couldn't normally get their hands on. Speaking of Resident Evil, this may be on your radar, Vega, but they announced that Lance Reddick is set to play Wesker in the live-action Resident Evil adaptation for Netflix.
Yeah, I saw that, and honestly, of course, a lot of people cast their judgments on it and did their own thing as the internet does, and that's more than fine. I'm honestly just excited to see Resident Evil be put on a live-action rendition and see if they could do some justice to it versus what we've gotten previously.
Yeah.
Actually
do Resident Evil.
Paul W.S. Anderson movies are not... I mean, the first one to me, personally, the first one's passable. I was willing to give it some grace. Everything after that, I'm like, no, I can't do it. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what Netflix does, for sure.
Honestly, the most accurate one I'd say for me was Apocalypse. And honestly, it's just because you have the most accurate character there, Nemesis.
Yeah. And also Jill. Where's Jill? There she is. Yeah, and you're not the first person to say that. I don't like the writing and the flow of that movie. I will agree that aesthetically it got closer. But to me, it just felt surface level because when you get into the actual scene to scene and the construction of the movie itself, I don't know, it just didn't do it for me, unfortunately. It felt like it was low effort. I don't know. Again, that could be contentious. Nemesis, to your part though, Nemesis did look great. He did. He looked pretty decent in that movie. So I will concede that for sure. Speaking of suspect things, maybe a little McSus. There was a chicken McNugget resembling an Among Us character sold on eBay for almost $100,000 this week.
Those millennials.
What the hell?
Honestly, anything sells at this point. If I want to see the actual statement that shows that $100,000. If it shows it, then I have a remote control I'd like to sell you.
Right. And here's the thing with that. You can get the chicken meat and cut it out however you want and then fry that shit.
Yeah, and then say it's chicken.
Yeah. Right. So, I mean, we could all be out here millionaires. We just put our minds to it.
Not worth it to me. Now, if you pair it with that Szechuan sauce, maybe. Right. I don't know.
Yeah, just essentially have the Szechuan sauce on the side and get the new McSus.
Yeah. And get Swifty in here.
Yeah.
Swifty. Also some good news for next-gen console owners. Jedi Fallen Order is going to get a free upgrade to Series X and PS5. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, another game I need to pop back in and play.
Yeah.
And time for it.
In this week in WTF, there was a trailer that dropped for a new game called Pal World. And the first thing I thought when I saw the first couple of seconds of this game was, oh my god, somebody beat Game Freak to open world Pokemon, because that's what it looks like. You start off seeing like this very cutesy, very similar to Sword and Shield's art style game with anime characters and animals working together. They're like building houses and traveling and doing things. And then it kind of takes a turn.
A dark turn.
a little bit. And you see the Pokemon, you see the people using guns, and one person pulls up like a Wooloo and shields themselves from gunfire, and they zoom in on the Wooloo's face. It's crying, and then she tosses it aside. And then there's like little Pokemon rabbits building assault rifles in a sweatshop. And somebody blows up a church with a rocket launcher.
What's happening? What have they done?
I don't know. They're describing it as a multiplayer open-world survival crafting game where you can befriend and collect mysterious creatures called PAL in a vast world, and you can make your pals fight, build, farm, and work in factories. Factories. It looks amazing. A little bit. And yeah, it looks amazing. I don't know quite what commentary they're going for. Thoughts? I don't
it just looks like they're aiming to shock.
Well, they succeeded.
Yeah, cuz I was like, "Oh wow, yeah, this looks really cute, really cool." And then machine guns and then sweatshops and human PAL Pokemon shields.
Right?
No pun intended.
Yeah. You know, like the game itself, I agree with everything Derrick's saying. It was meant to spark some controversy. You know, they put some parts in there just to absolutely get people rolling on the news with it. But honestly, it does, as crazy as it sounds, it does show promise. Just on its base premises of, essentially, they should have made it much more kid-friendly. If they would have went for a more Splatoon type deal with the guns and kind of made things a little bit more playful in that sense with the animals, I would have been more inclined to be like, there might be something here. You know? Could you imagine a paint just getting hit on a Wooloo and then you just put it aside for a second? That'd be kind of funny. There's a comedic effect to it. But now you have a lot of this serious topics and slavery going on and stuff like that. And you're like, yeah, I'm not sure what to do with this.
Where are those bumblebees getting paid?
And to your guys' point, maybe they're being intentionally controversial by cutting the trailer a certain way, and maybe it's not as drastic as it looks. I don't know how.
Right.
It is foreign. Like the original trailer, I think was, I can't remember. I didn't confirm this. It was either in Chinese or Korean. I couldn't tell. So I don't know if and when it's going to come stateside, but it looks like it's originally going to release on the PC. I'm going to be keeping an eye on it because this, you know, whether it's a good game or a bad game, the premise and the way it was announced just fascinates me.
Right.
I think I should get some water. You guys mind if I go and grab a drink real quick?
No,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I will be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll even give you a topic. Rhode Island. Neither a road nor an island.
I mean, I wanted to ask you this earlier, but I forgot. What's your fastest time for Time Crisis?
Ooh,
the first
Time
name.
Crisis. If we are looking in, because this is a long time ago, and secretly I've been working on it. So I've just the biggest thing about me, a lot of like close friends do know this about me. I like to stay in the shadows when it comes to speed runs. I don't like to show all of my lab work because I think it ruins the surprise.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I'm on the top of the leaderboards and I'm like, here's the recording. Have fun with it.
Right.
So Time Crisis 3, I'm at 22 minutes and 31 seconds. And world record's at 21 minutes and 1 second. So we're very close in between. A lot of the runners are just pretty much bunched up together. I'm really happy because I kind of started that craze. I was one of the first runners on there, and then everybody kind of came out of nowhere. Time Crisis 2 is 14 minutes and 7 seconds.
Wow.
Damn.
That's good. God, I love Time Crisis too. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. Yeah, no. Time Crisis is definitely one of my favorites to come across. It's one of the games that it literally has time in it. So it was kind of like dumb of me, like it would be dumb not to do it. Being one of the first runners on all three was it was a great privilege to see all these runners start lining up and saying, "Oh yeah, we like this game too."
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. What my experience seeing that cabinet for the first time in the wild, where you press down the pedal to come out from cover, I'm like, this is, Because one of the things I mean, I love arcade cabinet shooters, but one of the things I used to hate is how you would get hit so cheaply. Like you couldn't really avoid it sometimes because you can't, you're out to be hit. And, some of the good shooters will give you a chance to prevent yourself from being hit by staggering the enemies, but not always. But with this, you could literally take cover, and I'm like, this is the coolest. And the thing is, the like you said, the time mechanic, you can't take cover forever, so you do have this push and pull with, okay, I take cover and reload, or I dodge this fire, but you can't stay there forever, or else you run out of time. So, oh my god, just a solid concept and a great implementation. If I ever get the money, that's one of those arcade cabs I'm going to get with the pedal. I love it. All right, let's get into it. Let's see. I want to talk about first, as far as like all the big news this week, we'll talk about Netflix's Geeked Week. They announced a lot of things. We're not going to go over all of it, but there were a couple of standouts for me at least. I don't know what you guys thought. They announced a Cuphead show. Very cool. Okay. And obviously it would lend itself well to a show just because it already has that unique, kind of 1940s, like that rubber hose animation style that it has.
Yeah.
I heard news that they actually cast one of the voice actors for the show as King Dice. It's going to be Wayne Brady.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which I'm a fan of. Yeah, I saw him most recently goofing around with Mark Rebulet. I don't know if you guys know him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. it was good. It was good stuff. And then they also, you had mentioned this earlier, Derrick, the Castlevania spinoff thing. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so Netflix said that basically they're doing a spinoff that's going to have Richter Belmont, which is the son of Sypha and Trevor, and Maria Renard. It's going to take place in like 17th century London or something like that.
The French Revolution, I thought it was, wasn't it?
Oh, okay. And I'm excited. Like, Castlevania was a really dope series, and we both knew they were going to keep going with it because there's so much content that they can pull from. So it's going to be exciting, and I can't wait to see where that goes.
Considering their starting point, the logical conclusion was, especially when they said this is going to wrap up their stories and how successful, I was like, they're going to keep going with the other Belmonts. This is great.
Yeah.
I love it. It's such a great show. Have you seen it, Vega?
I've seen a little bit of it. Regrettably, I haven't seen all of it because this is a me and my wife thing, and it's kind of like when my wife is ready, then I will be ready.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So, you love and you hate those at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, I've had nothing but excitement for this. The factor that everyone seems to see this as a success and Netflix knows that it is, and they're continuing, only makes me more excited because it means that we're going to get possibly more adaptations like this, and Netflix will be more kind to a lot of these franchises.
And we're already confirmed to be getting Devil May Cry, so
very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then you had mentioned something that I almost forgot, and I'm so glad you brought it up, Derrick. There was a movie that came out in China not too long ago that is being brought to Netflix, and they had a trailer drop for that, and it was
Dynasty Warriors.
Dynasty Warriors live action, looking just like the opening of one of the games with all the flashy magic bullshit. I love it.
Yeah, because when the trailer started, it was just like regular armies fighting and stuff. And then the effects started coming in, the wire work,
and then the music from the game. It was like,
yeah,
like Lu Bu's theme. Oh my god.
Oh my god. I was like, oh, it's cheesy, and they know it, and they're leaning into it, and I love it.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see it, and it's gonna be bad.
Yes,
and it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be so stupid. I can't wait.
Yeah, and I was looking at the list of characters that were all in the movie because sometimes they get the costumes right where you can tell, and sometimes not. But like Dio Chan, Lu Bu, Cao Cao, Guan Yu, Li Bei.
They did a really good job with. They did a really good job with Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei especially. Like his angry face. I was like, yeah, he's drunk. He's probably drunk.
Yeah, he's my favorite character to play as in the original game.
My favorite is
one-on-one fighting game.
Oh, the original fighting game. Yeah, my entry to this series was Dynasty Warriors 2, and my favorite was Jian Wei. Jian Wei shall prevail. I just like the fact that he had like a bull's head axe and he was like this bald angry dude, and then later on I fell in love with the fact that like he has this bromance with Cao Cao. He's like, my lord, I'll protect you, I love you so much, my lord. And he's like, John Way, you are a warrior without compare. How can I do this without you? You must go on to make a future for everyone. Shout,
Bro.
my lord, bro. I'll take these arrows. I'm sorry. I'm going on this Dynasty Warriors. Vega, you must be a fan, right? You love beat 'em ups. Do you like Warriors games and Muso games?
I do actually, and the funny thing is that when it comes to the Warriors games, I've always played them with friends. I don't own them.
Interesting.
It's very weird for me because I'm always like, every time I have an opportunity, it's just this other game pops out of nowhere and I'm like, oh, this one looks nice. And I'll just go over there. So I feel kind of ashamed because I'm like, I do like these games every time I do play them. And the only sort of Warriors game that is anywhere near similar, of course, everybody knows it, is Hyrule Warriors. I couldn't skip out on a Zelda game. And so I went for that. I know that people probably call blasphemy on it, but I love just the craziness of it all. Bad voice acting in video games. A lot of people don't like it. I love it because things that get ridiculous just make me laugh and are happy-go-lucky. It's the reason I like House of the Dead so much.
Right.
Yeah. And where's Jill? Sandwich.
Yes.
Right on. Well, for those looking out for that, they had the trailer for Netflix Asia, so maybe it'll eventually come stateside. If not, then get your NordVPN ready. Get your NordVPN with a 10% discount from your friendly neighborhood local YouTuber, because they sponsor everybody. You can almost hear the segue coming too when somebody's like reviewing, like, this week we're reviewing this movie, and I really like these types of movies, but unfortunately most of them don't play in Netflix in America. I'm like, here it comes.
Right.
And they're like, but you can watch it with NordVPN. I'm like, hey man, get that money, bro. Go ahead.
Right.
Well, speaking of getting money, we got the Summer Games event with Jeff Keighley, everybody's favorite video game advertisement buddy guy, dude.
Yeah, pretty much.
And there were some gross parts about it. Like, they did on the Summer Games event, they announced Free Guy, which is this new Ryan Reynolds movie. Now, I like Ryan Reynolds. Let me start off by saying that. I like him. I think he's great. The movie looked really cringe. Did either of you guys see the trailer for Free Guy?
I saw the trailer like a year or two ago, because it was supposed to have been released, but then COVID and everything. I saw a trailer and it looked funny, fun at the time, but I haven't seen it since then, so I'd have to rewatch it.
If I'm correct, it's the one where he's basically an NPC, right?
Yeah, he's an NPC who realizes he's an NPC and kind of takes over the game world.
Yeah, I saw it and I was kind of like, let's see how this goes. I don't know how much content is there.
Yeah, same thing. They bring in some popular streamers. Unfortunately, Ninja's in the movie. I don't know if that was before or after he started dropping M-bombs on his stream. But I was like, even Jeff, like, after the trailer this week was like, oh, it was so great to see Ninja. And I was like, was it? But yeah, to me, the parts that look cringe were including the streamers like, oh, look at this guy. Like, it's just streamers trying to act. And I was like, I don't know. And it felt a little kind of Ready Player One or Pixels exploity gamer, not really like gamers were actually consulted. I don't know. Again, I don't want to get all gamers TM with a capital G on this, but to me, I just don't like being pandered to when I feel like it's disingenuous. And it's a product. They're making it to sell it. I get that, but I don't know. We'll have to see more. Right now, I'm not super excited about it. But the main super exciting thing about the Summer Games event was that we finally got a full-on trailer for Elden Ring and a release date. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah, that actually was very exciting, although I must admit it was very funny. Every single meme that I was seeing on Twitter was the original Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire, with his glasses, putting them on and taking them off, and when he put them back on, instead of seeing Elden Ring, he saw Dark Souls 4.
Right. Because that's basically
like,
what it is, yeah.
I was like, I see this as an absolute win, but this is funny.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I have to agree. Now, here on the show, Derrick and I, we're not super into Souls-like games. We've tried a few. the gameplay's never really clicked with me. Like, I haven't been able to beat a Souls-like yet. I keep trying them, hoping that like the next one I play will click. I think the one I got furthest in on was the original Dark Souls, but I'm happy because it's so highly anticipated, and I love the art and the lore in these games. I'm more of a fan of the game itself rather than a fan of playing it, if that makes sense. I'm sure there's a game or a franchise out there that might be like that for you guys, but are you a big Souls-like player at all, Vega? Like, do you get into those games?
So I play those, but I usually play them offline because I feel like necessarily when it comes to that game is meant to be a therapeutic like event for me. I say that in the terminology that I get very frustrated. It's one of the only games that I get really frustrated with. I like challenge, but I don't like challenge that necessarily will cheat me out. And so I've had that happen in quite a few Souls games. It's really meant there for me to be like, as soon as I win it, I'll start just screaming obscenities. Yeah, suck it, and just it's so funny because everyone will look at me. It's like, you okay? And I'm just like, I had to get it all out right there. So
yeah, I feel you on that. I think the thing for me that stops me from enjoying them is how much you're punished for dying. Like, it's cool if you die over and over. I do not mind that. It's just how much they take from you. If they didn't take your experience or put it so where you could lose it forever, I'd probably be a little bit less harsh on it. But that's the thing that my brain can't get over. I don't like losing progress, no matter how big or small it is. It just feels ugh to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It just goes back to respecting your time as a gamer, as a player, as a human. Because you got other things going on that's trying to beat your shitty game. Not that saying that they're shitty, but just saying that because they take your experience from you. Like,
no, I get where you're coming from. Yeah, we all have different like thresholds and limit levels when it comes to like what we'll accept as far as like time investment. And yeah, that's the cutoff for me. Don't take my experience points. Don't do that.
I saw the trailer and I was like, okay.
I saw the trailer and all I heard was, oh.
Yeah, it did not blow me away or anything, but I'm not a big fan of Souls games anyway, so it wasn't going to have a big effect on me.
But it was just the art.
Yeah, the art style just looked like it was kind of last-gen type thing. Like, it looks like Dark Souls 3 type.
That's fair. I really love the art. Like I said, I thought it was a beautiful trailer, and I'm happy for a lot of the fans of the series. I will note that it's going to have a free upgrade to PS5 and Series X, so for those who don't have your next-gen system yet, but you really want to play it, should be able to get the current gen just fine, and then be able to upgrade later on once you get your system. No worries. Now, it's coming out January 21st, 2022. Hopefully by then, this whole shortage thing will be a thing of the past, but who knows?
Yeah.
So, all right, then we had Ubisoft Forward. So I'll run through the games if you guys have any opinions on them. I don't have a ton of opinions. I thought it was, personally, overall, I thought Ubisoft's presentation was underwhelming. It's no secret on the show that I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Ubisoft, but it's more how they're run as a company and the whole cover-up of abuse and all that. Something I do not want to fail to mention whenever I bring them up. With that said, here's what we have. We have Rainbow Six Extraction, and it looks like Rainbow Six, but with monsters?
Yeah, it's like some alien substance or something.
Cool, you know.
Give me Rainbow Six Patriots back, please.
Oh, okay.
The game was supposed to come out, and they made Siege instead. And now I'm just like, okay, now we're just going to make Siege, but with aliens. Yay.
Derrick has spoken. You give him give him the other game.
Give me my single-player Rainbow Six game. Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2 are some of the best games I've ever played. I want that back. I need it back.
All right.
I saw the gameplay of it and immediately just saw it. Left Rainbow for Dead. That's all it is to me.
Left Rainbow for Dead. Exactly.
I love that.
There's nothing compelling about that gameplay that I saw. Or the concept. It's just, you're just like, well, everybody likes zombies and monsters, so let's just put zombies and monsters in our game, but make it a separate game and not just an add-on.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems like it could have been just an add-on to Siege.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, as someone who hasn't played any Rainbow Six games, I thought it was an interesting, different direction. But if you're coming to Rainbow Six for something specific and they're not delivering it, I get why that would be frustrating. For those who do want to get extracted, you can on September 16th. That's the release date they gave. Then they had Riders Republic from the developers of Steep. I played Steep because I think Sweet, bro. Snowboarding. They gave it away on PS Plus, so I played a bit of Steep, and it's cool, but it's one of those games where they just kind of drop you in, like, here's a mountain, fucking figure it out. Right. It's just like, all right. And it looks like more of that, just with more vehicles, like you can do bikes and other stuff, and there's still, like, wingsuiting and skiing and snowboarding, too. Cool. I would play this. I feel like this game needs more structure. Not necessarily a storyline, although that wouldn't be terrible, but maybe more missions and progression. It just feels like it's like, here's some sand in a box, do it. You know? That's my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I agree with you, man.
All right. Moving on.
Foundation is everything.
Yep. September 2nd on that one. Moving on. Just Dance 2022, November 3rd. It's another Just Dance game. The only thing notable about it is they had Todrick Hall present, which I love that guy. He did the was it? Wow, what they call it? Beauty and the Beat. That's what it was. Yeah. I love Beauty and the Beat. He does a lot of really fun videos on YouTube, and there's a big internet fan base for him. So people were going nuts in the chat when he came on, and good for him. He's got his own song being featured in Just Dance, and if you're a fan, it's coming November 3rd. They mentioned some news about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. There's the expansion, The Siege of Paris. That's coming sometime in the summer. They didn't give an exact date, but here in the next few months, I suppose. And they also mentioned that there's going to be a discovery mode to be added, kind of like the one they had in Assassin's Creed Origins, where you go around like on a museum tour and all the architecture and the history gets explained to you, which honestly is one of the cooler aspects of those games that they started implementing. I love that, to be honest. Cool. It's really cool. So for those interested in getting their history buffed, so to speak, you can do that with Valhalla as well. And this was a big one for me. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, the sequel to the original Mario Rabbids crossover, was announced. And from the look of the quality of the gameplay, and Vega, maybe you can weigh in on this, and somebody who really pays attention to this type of thing, I feel like they basically announced the Switch Pro. Am I wrong?
Like, there's a lot of things in there that I was like, this doesn't look like it's running on, like, this doesn't look like this would be on normal hardware. And so it got me a little bit nervous here.
Yeah,
there's also a GameStop advertisement that a lot of people are pulling up because it has a capitalization on new for the Nintendo Switch. There's a lot of things here. I'm like, oh man, everything is lining up, and I'm very, very nervous. But otherwise, I like what I saw, and these are couples games to me. You know, like they're the perfect couples games. The original Rabbids is something me and my wife, I know, would love playing together, and we've seen many clips on it. We played many couples games like this before, and we're just like, yeah, I'm ready for this. Seeing a sequel is just like, yeah, I'm even more ready for this. Awesome. But we're probably going to end up just bickering at each other like, hey, do this move first.
Right.
No, I want to do this one.
Yep, exactly. That's what's going to happen.
What were you going to say, Derek?
I was just going to say, yeah, I played a bit of the original game. It was actually, like, you know me, I don't like strategy RPGs.
You don't.
I'm not into them, but Mario Rabbids was very accessible. I didn't finish it, but not because it wasn't good or anything. I just kind of had my fill of it. So,
yeah, it's fairly cheap too. It's still selling for $15 for those that are interested. Yeah. In fact, I think it was number 1 on Amazon yesterday, probably because of that trailer. So, well, it is announced for 2022, although no specific date has been laid out yet. So we know that we're probably getting the Switch Pro by 2022, confirmed on this podcast. There you go. They showed a Avatar game, and not The Last Airbender, but the blue people, James Cameron's Avatar. Nobody can.
When I was watching it, I was like, "Is that an Avatar? It's an Avatar game?
Word?
That's stupid."
And it doesn't even look that good. It's just
I said, "Where's the movie at?" Like, it's been. When did Avatar come out? 2008,
bro.
Like,
oh my god!
Come on. come on, nobody fucking cares.
There was
at this
supposed to
point.
there were supposed to be like several sequels and some other stuff, and now they're releasing this PS3 game, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm sorry, the game didn't look good, especially for the fact that it's based off of a movie that looks way better. It's like it's in the year of our Lord 2021, you can't pull that shit anymore.
Did they show gameplay, or was it just a cinematic trailer that looked bad?
I don't know, dude. I kind of fell asleep, but I saw blue people. That's all I remember.
I saw blue people. I saw them put their little head tails into other things.
I saw the multi-winged, flying creatures, and I saw some mechs. I don't know. The humans and the tribals of the blue people planet, they're at it again for that unobtainium.
Unobtainium. I
It's
cannot
called-
get my hands on any of it.
Yeah, it's unattainable. It's which Ratchet and Clank has rare obtainium, but Ratchet and Clank is a fun, cartoony platformer, and it's a video game. They wrote
Right.
unobtainium in this game. They put Sigourney Weaver in this mug talking about unobtainium.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it's just gonna be a multiplayer online game.
You think so?
Navi versus humans. Yeah. There's no way there's gonna be a solo campaign for
Narrative.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No way.
Well, we'll see. I mean, maybe. I'm not looking for it, but that's just me personally. All right, enough of that. Last thing that I think was not even worth mentioning. The last thing I want to mention was Watch Dogs Legions, the Bloodline expansion. So I know we got some listeners that are fans of Watch Dogs. I beat the first one, and I played through like half of the second one. Kind of fell off the series, but Aiden's coming back, and Wrench from the second game, and they're here to fight rogue members of DedSec in London.
And
shooting
characters
guns.
doing things.
Yep. Aiden got a beard. He got a beard, y'all. He's got his
He's got
hat.
the same voice too.
Yep. What's going on in here? What is this, London? Jolly old England? What are you got, a biscuit? What's that, a cookie?
What are you gonna do? Biscuit me?
So I don't know. I mean, anybody excited for Watch Dogs? Is Watch Dogs players? No.
I played half of the first game, and that was it.
This is a game I've watched, and I prefer watching it. I don't think I could do it.
Well, they do call it Watch Dogs, so
First,
you're
watch
not
the
wrong.
dogs.
Yeah, watch those dogs. All right, well, speaking of watching, we move on to the Devolver Digital Showcase, which is one showcase I do look forward to watching every year. This year did not disappoint, no different. It was insane.
Hilarious.
The main thing they were pushing was this thing, and I'll put the link in the show notes so you guys can check it out, DevolverMaxPassPlus.com. And it is a featured subscription stream deluxe premium service from Devolver Digital that you can subscribe to for free. You heard that right, for free. For free, you can go to this site and buy their games.
Right.
You pay money for the
Purchases won't be
games.
free.
No,
That would
of
be
course
crazy.
not. That'd be silly. But for free, you can subscribe to go there.
I implore everyone listening in YouTube Vega, because I know you haven't got a chance to watch it, but go watch the Devolver Digital Showcase.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I
good
was
stuff.
watching it upstairs in my bed, and my wife just kept looking over me because I kept chuckling. And she was like, "What are you looking at? You never chuckle that much. What the fuck is so funny?" I was like, "I'll show you later." It's just, and it's funny because the chat was like, "Oh, this is lame. This is corny." Oh, I was like, "Ooh, are we watching the same thing?" I think it's hilarious. I don't know.
There were people in there
Maybe
saying
I'm
it was
just
funny
old.
too, but people just hate. It's fine.
Yeah, they're just hating.
What are you going to do? Anyways, the games they showed were actually really good too. So the first thing they showed off, which garnered some interest from you, so we can talk about it for a second, is Shadow Warrior 3.
Yeah. It
Now,
looked
have you played the first two?
I have not.
Okay.
Do they play
It's-
like that?
Yeah, pretty similar. Not as frantic, because the gameplay they showed for Shadow Warrior 2 was like Doom Eternal. I mean, it was just constant fighting, right? Shadow Warrior 1 and I think 2, although I've only played 1 and seen footage of 2, they play more like your original kind of classic Doom or Wolfenstein or Quake, where there's some downtime in between. And there's some questionable portrayal of Asian stereotypes in the game, so just trigger warning for that. But I mean, it's not like overtly anti-Asian. It's just got a lot of like really kind of stereotypes. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, the gameplay is solid, and it looks like the third one, they're just kind of really ramping it up, probably because its contemporaries has done the same. So if you end up playing it, man, I'd be happy to hear about it. I'm kind of interested, but I'm still side-eyeing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like I
One
said,
game
this looks like Doom for more Doom.
Yeah, Doom for more Doomers, for Doomy Dooms. It's good times, devil games. So one game I'm super excited to play, and I don't know if you saw the trailer for this yet, Vega, or not. There's a game called Trek to Yomi, and it looks gorgeous. It is like a cross between Limbo or Inside with Ghost of Tsushima. It looks like an old kind of samurai type movie, but side scroller. It's black and white. The effects, like buildings blowing up or anything major, almost looks like it was done with stop motion or minis. And then the actual characters themselves, because of the black and white filter, they look like almost like they're ripped straight out of an old samurai film. It's amazing. I'm down to try it out. They said it was going to come out in 2022, and it's going to be on PC, PS5, and Series X. So
Awesome.
That sounds really exciting, and honestly, you are very much right. I do like these games. Ghost of Tsushima is something I still haven't completed fully, and I still like. I keep messing around in that game just because I want to be a cool samurai.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, no. If the game is anywhere near like it, even if it's just 2D, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one to watch. Another one I thought was kind of interesting is like an isometric adventure game. It's called Death's Door. I'm assuming just because of the name that the character you play as is a raven. It looks like a black bird with a sword on its back. At first I thought the bird had a lightsaber, but it looks like it's just a neon light going down the middle of a regular broadsword. It has a really kind of interesting, almost clay-like art style, and there's a lot of really good flashy fights. It reminds me almost of like a Supergiant game. Like it gave me, Transistor or Bastion vibes a little bit. I don't really know much outside of that, but I know it's going to come to Series X and PC on July 20th this year. So something people can check out fairly soon. Another game that I thought was super interesting is called Inscription, which I would describe as like Hearthstone, the horror edition. Right. It's like this puzzle card game that you're playing with this demon that's wearing a mask, and there's parts of the game where you're like laying down cards and they're doing different weird animations. Then there's parts where you have to get up and investigate something in the room, and the demon calls you back to play more cards.
Sit your ass down.
It's almost like the devil went down to Georgia, but you challenge the devil to a card game instead, and like really weird horror shit happens during it. There's a lot of imagery. It's very much what the gamer friends would call a devil game. It is a devil. It is Baphomet the card game. Through and through. And it's my shit. So it looks great. It looks crazy. It's coming out this year, and I definitely am probably going to pick up and check that one out. The last thing that stood out to me was a game called Demon Throttle. I love me some old school shooters. This looks like a top-down shooter that kind of scrolls upwards like Ikari Warriors maybe, but it's more fantasy style, maybe like King's Knight, just not as bad. It's called Demon Throttle, and they're not doing a digital release of this game. They're doing physical only on Switch, sold through Special Reserve Games.
Yeah.
Which, that's an odd choice. I've never seen a Special Reserve or limited run that didn't start life as a digital game, but they're doing it in reverse now. They're like, no, physical only.
They're really taking the parody and making fun of the industry to the next level with that one.
Yeah, they announced a mobile game that was just straight up like a cash grab, and it looked like it. And the way that they advertised it was like, ditch your whole life and just play this game. I don't know if it's real or not, but it did have a name and like a website link, so who knows. But the entire presentation was just a lot of fast talking and big words and industry bullshit, and I loved it. I loved every second of it.
And curse words.
Lots of curse words.
Lots of curse words.
Yeah, like the tape that they took the tab off so it's unfuckwithable.
Yeah.
You can actually buy the entire presentation this year on a videotape that they snap the tab off so you can't record over it, which they deem unfuckwithable. That's what they call it.
Mm-hmm. No, not non-fuckwithable.
No, that's
NFT,
what it was.
Non-fuckwithable.
Yeah, because it's an NFT. It's going to be big. An NFT, a non-fuckwithable tape. So I love love that so much. And it really made me want to eat a chili dog. Chili dogs kept showing up in the presentation, and they look delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. The last presentation, not really major, but I'll let you go ahead and cover it, Derek, because I know that was something that you had looked at pretty closely. Gearbox?
Yeah, so
what can we expect from Gearbox? Yeah.
Just a couple things that I took note of. Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Tiny Tina, the character from Borderlands, is basically getting her own spin-off. And it's basically Borderlands in a fantasy setting, much like the DLC that, what was it, Tiny Tina's Dragon Keep or something like that.
I remember what you're talking about from Borderlands 2. Yeah.
Yeah, so they basically took what they learned from that and made a whole nother game. So it looks interesting. I haven't played Borderlands since Borderlands 2.
Me neither. All that DLC on Borderlands 2 burned me out, dude. I have Borderlands 3 sitting on the shelf. I look at it occasionally. One day.
Yeah, so look forward to that. Godfall is coming to the PS4 for some reason.
Yay!
So if you don't have a PS5, rejoice. You will be able to play Godfall on your PS4.
Like, imagine the conversation in the Gearbox boardroom. Randy Pitchford's like, Godfall is an amazing game, right? Oh, yes, Mr. Pitchford. It's so good. Godfall is the greatest game ever. Well, then why isn't it selling? People should be buying. Well, you do on PS5, and no one has PS5. I got it. We'll put this great, amazing game that everybody loves on the PS4, and it's bound to sell. Genius idea.
I hope it sells no copies.
Shade.
Because that game is
not good.
So mediocre. It's less than mediocre, honestly. And I don't like to dump on, people's games because they put work into it. I'm not going to say hard work, but they did work on it. And it is a game. And it looks amazing. The gameplay is just out of 2006.
Yeah,
Like
it just doesn't stand out enough, to be honest.
I'm playing an action hack and slash, and my character doesn't automatically move towards the character that I'm locked onto. I have to...
Like during the combo? Yeah.
Yeah, during the combo, you have to move the camera towards the enemy you're locked onto already.
Yeah, we learned that back
so
in 2000.
Archaic.
Oh my god.
Yes, it's so archaic, and it makes the game unenjoyable for me. That one thing. And the combos are basic and all that, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, Godfall coming to PS4. Mm-hmm. Yay. And I think, is Kenna Bridge of Spirits an Ubisoft game?
I don't know.
I think it is. Either way.
Whoops.
Yeah. Kenna Bridge of Spirits is also heading to the PS4. If you saw the gameplay of that, it's kind of a mix of whatever action game you're playing, like God of War, Pikmin. You've got these little fuzzy black creatures that you can direct around, and you can combine them into some giant monster and help you attack, and it looks really cool. And it's going to be on PS4 now too, so yay PS4 owners. Yay. Again, last week we were talking about PS5 games coming to PS4 and people complaining about it. Shut up, it's going to be fine on PS5. It's going to look great, it's going to play great. Having a PS4 version is not going to sully your experience, trust me. Because you're still going to be like, oh, well, I'm glad I got this on PS5 instead of PS4.
Yeah.
So
take it from a few PS5 owners. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
It'll be okay.
It'll be